Hi guys, my name's Gray. Whoa. No. Hi guys, my name's Grace, back with another video. Today I'm going to be reacting to ENHYPEN Bite Me. I've heard a lot about this choreography in the past couple of days. I heard some people are very unhappy with it. I haven't actually seen it. I've heard a little bit of the song, but I've seen news reports that there's like protests and netizens, specifically like Korean fans, want the choreography to change. Let's see why. So, fun thing, I actually couldn't find a performance video. Look, I know there's women in the dance, and I know that's why people are upset. I couldn't find like an official video with the female dancers in it, so I'm using a like non-official. Somebody posted it on YouTube, so I'm like, did Hybe or whatever their company that runs ENHYPEN, because it's not always Hybe like directly hands-on with the groups of their sub-labels, take down the videos with female backup dancers? I don't know, but I found this video, and it seems like it's a performance video with female dancers. So let's go.
It's you and me in this world. 내게로 다시 와 time me. 날 구원할 거라면 just come kiss me and bite me.
Are any of these members underage? Question mark. That part is super catchy. First thing I notice is that, like, yes, background dancers or backup dancers, that's what they're generally called. I know when Tonga talks about them, she calls them dancers, and I've gotten some comments on previous videos that it's like disrespectful to call them background dancers. That's what they're generally called. So sorry if it slips, but this dance can be done with or without the dancers, the female dancers, which I think is really, really cool, because you're not always going to have the opportunity to have, like, what, 15 people? How many are they? 2, 5, 7, and then, you know, probably 7 battling. Yeah, like 15 people on stage, whether it be for, like, you can't pay them all the time, you can't get them to the performances, you can't clothe them, you can't feed them, blah, blah, blah. So it's cool that if you go back and, excuse me, watch some of the choreography, like, even when the dancers are there, ENHYPEN have their own formations within, like, the circle of the female dancers, so it's like they can do the dance was very smartly choreographed so that they can do it even when the female dancers aren't there, and it's still, like, interesting choreography. And I really love these formations they're making. I'm a big fan of, like, clump activities, I call it, where they're, like, laying on top of each other. Very direct lyrics. K-pop's getting very direct recently. I mean, slay. Not that there haven't been, like, sexy okay. Wow! There's partnering. What I was gonna say is not that there haven't been sexy concepts before, but in K-pop it's been a lot more, like, innuendo than directly come over here and kiss me, bite me, and the choreography like this to, like, come over and, like, bite me, like, it's pretty direct. And like I said, I hope none of these guys are underage, because I'm pretty sure some of them are. Is that what people were upset about? Okay. I mean, if we're going to talk about partnering, this was pretty like light partnering work. Partnering is something you get like, partnering and group work is something you get, you have to practice it because it's very difficult because when you're dancing just yourself, you only have to worry about your own body. Of course, you have to worry about like being in sync with other people and being on time. But in general, you're only worried about your own kind of like personal bubble and what you look like. Whereas when you're working with other people in like a partnering or group work, you have to think about what other bodies look like too. So it's a lot more going on in your head and a lot more to focus on. And there's a lot more to consider when you're doing partner work. And this is pretty like light partner work. It was a lot like arms interweaving instead of and like being touched by the other person as opposed to like leaning onto each other, which you'll see more in modern. There's a lot more weight sharing in modern than there is in other styles of dance, but even in ballet, I mean, we've all seen the spins and the lifts and the blah blah blah, but yeah, this is cool, especially with like a vampire concept. I think it is cool to have partnering going on, especially with the history of like the vampire genre, especially novels being about, it's an allegory for like losing your virginity and sex and seduction and stuff like that. So it is, you're going to do a vampire concept, why not have both heteronormative and both, traditional genders on stage? They're on the floor a lot, which is really interesting. I really like the female dancers' costumes. Oh, oh, oh my. And I really love that move. That's like going crazy. Oh, God, I'm going crazy over her. I like that. Despite what I said about in today's world, like having a like male presenting body and a female presenting body on stage, just like gender dichotomy, a lot of times it's going to be like inherently political or like inherently sexual. Not all the time, but a lot of the times, especially dancing together, partnering as opposed to like, doing solo choreography side by side, where it's more of a blending of, yes, a man can do this, yes, a woman can do this, and kind of blending the perception of gender and gendered bodies on stage. When you have when you're partnering with people of the opposite gender, it becomes inherently political, and inherently about gender. So that being said, the choreography isn't necessarily like overtly sexual or sensual, despite what I said about the sensuality of a vampire concept and this kind of like the history of a vampire concept and just kind of the idea of vampirism and what we perceive vampirism to be, and what it means for gender, and what I said about inherently there being like sensuality and politics on stage when you have female and male dancers doing partner work. The movement isn't very sensual or sexual or suggestive in any way, and like I said, good, because there's like minors. I think the only thing I saw was like the female dancers like crawl their fingers up the ENHYPEN members' chests, or the one guy had a solo right after the chorus and she came behind him and like brushed her hands down his shoulders. But to me, none of that is like overtly sexual or sensual. Sensual maybe, but not sexual. Yeah, like that little thing. And like most of the time you see the female dancers aren't even directly touching them when they like touch. They might be different in performances, but they come underneath their chin as opposed to actually touching their chin to lift them up. I mean, they're grabbing arms and stuff, but that's like, if you're spinning around each other, you kind of have to grab each other's arms. It's really difficult to like bring your arm up and over your head without the grounding and the pulling on your arm of the other person's arm, because then you end up just kind of like lost in space. Yeah, I mean, they're not even like directly touching each other most of the time. Yeah, like they're not really touching each other. Besides when she like has the hand on the shoulder, when she's like these little moments of touching each other, but oh, I loved that, the boom, boom, boom with each look. Yes, so good. Mm. And this choreography, like in general, most of this video I've been talking about the like partnering and the genderness of it all, but this choreography is very interesting in terms of just the way it's done. I really really like it. I tend to be a fan of K-pop girl group choreographies more, more my style, because a lot of male groups and male soloists lean more into the um, like more stereotypical male gender norms of it's got to be fast, it's got to be hard hitting, it's got to be extremely intense, it's got to be high intensity, and the quality is very solid and very hard, and it leans more into this like hip hop style, whereas I prefer a lot more like dynamics going on. And you know, where I live in the dance world is you know, I'm trained more in contemporary and ballet and modern, so where my comfort in dance and the way I look at dance more lies in dances like Bite Me, where it's less about impact in terms of like movement quality. The impact of the movement quality is not as hard, but there's a lot of ebb and flow and a lot of dynamic shifts and a lot more softness and gooiness going on. Not saying that there's never gooiness or softness in hip hop, and that there's never high impact and quick and sharp movements in, you know, concert styles of dance. But ENHYPEN's Bite Me lives more in the realm that I just talked about, and I really really like this dance, especially from a boy group. And I think it's switching up what we know as like a boy group dance. There's been more switching up happening lately, and I think that's, you know, as K-pop gets more popular and thus more influences on K-pop come in, just because more people are interacting with it, we're seeing shifts in what K-pop can be, especially for a very gendered industry. But they slayed. Slay! Okay. I really liked that. I mean, I can understand why more conservative fans and fans with a much deeper, more intense parasocial relationship would be upset by this. But in general, like, come on. Come on. Times are a changin'. They barely touched each other, and like, you know, despite what I said about female and male bodies on stage most of the time being inherently political, and you know, that fact being heightened by the vampire concept, which is a very gendered concept. Come on. I mean, I don't see why people are upset. I can see why Like, I don't empathize with people who are upset. I can understand why people are upset, but I don't empathize. But I really liked that song too, actually. I only really listened to one song by ENHYPEN, Drunk Dazed, Dazed Drunk. Can't remember which order it is. But yeah, I really like this comeback. And I really like the dance. Should I cover the dance? Ooh. Let me know what you guys thought of this comeback and this dance in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.